If you're a true Liverpool fan, subscribe to Anfield Signal. Arne Slot makes lucky admission as Liverpool boss agrees with Alexis Mac Allister. Liverpool found a way of winning against Nottingham Forest, with Arne Slot's side playing very poorly in the first half before Alexis Mac Allister netted the winner. Arne Slot admitted that Liverpool was lucky to pick up all 3 points against Nottingham Forest in the Premier League, with Alexis Mac Allister securing the victory deep into stoppage time. After a dire first half, Liverpool improved at the City ground. And even when Mac Allister saw a goal ruled out after he charged down an Ola Aina clearance, the Argentine still had time to fire in a shot from a similar range a few minutes later. I've seen much more consistency recently, not only in Macca's performance but in the team performance and many individual performances, Slot said in his post-match press conference. But I think it's always nice for a player to score, especially if it's in extra time of extra time. So we needed this goal. We needed that win to be on the right side of things once in a while. We've been so unlucky this season, and today for the first time, at least it felt to me for the first time, we've been a bit lucky. My emotions were emotions of happiness and relief. This is probably the first time I have to do a different post-match press conference than I did throughout all these other games, because today we did not play a good game. The performance, especially in the first half, was not as we've had so many times this season, but we've been on the wrong side of the score after a good performance far too many times. Today, I think we got more than we deserved. A draw would have been a fairer result of this game than for us to win it. Like Slot, Mac Allister felt that Liverpool played badly, and Nottingham Forest head coach Vitor Pereira was in agreement that his side had been robbed of a point. That is football, he said. Slot, meanwhile, told his players at half-time that their performance in the first 45 minutes was the worst they had played all season so far, and there have been some real lows. We defended our box really well, and that was the reason that we were still on 0-0, Slot continued. Because as much as Nottingham Forest were the better team and were forcing us to go back, we defended really well in our box, in my opinion. We had to defend a lot of set pieces throughout the whole game, but especially in the first half. So if we could bring back that mentality to the whole pitch, combined with doing a few things better on the ball and maybe not lose every ball you touch, because that was almost what happened, then you know that these players can do better. I tried to give them a bit of energy to say, they've played Thursday, a difficult away game, maybe they run out of energy and we for sure cannot have run out of energy yet, so maybe that can balance the game more or get the game in our advantage. And I pointed out our second half against Manchester City as well. After a first half that's maybe not of the standards we would like to have, we are able to play a much better second half.
Jamie Carragher calls out Mohamed Salah and Liverpool teammate to make Rio Ngumaha point. Jamie Carragher branded Liverpool's 1-0 win over Nottingham Forest one of the biggest robberies in the Premier League this season, lambasting Mohamed Salah's performance in the process. Jamie Carragher has branded Liverpool's victory over Nottingham Forest on Sunday as one of the biggest robberies he has seen in the Premier League this season as he heaped praise on Rio Ngumaha. The Reds edged to a 1-0 win at the City ground courtesy of a late strike from Alexis Mac Allister. Yet Carragher was far from convinced by what he saw from his former club on the day, a largely uninspiring display against a struggling Premier League team. Speaking on Sky Sports at full-time, the 48-year-old said, "That's one of the biggest robberies I've seen in the Premier League this season." The pundit also took particular issue with the performances of Mohamed Salah and Cody Gakpo. Normally a potent force in and around the box, Liverpool mustered just 10 shots throughout the entire match, only 4 of which hitting the target. For context, Forest managed 2 shots on target from a total of 18, posing a considerably greater threat than the Reds throughout the contest. The hosts also enjoyed 47% of the possession to Liverpool's 53%, more than holding their own for lengthy spells. Carragher further suggested that Salah and Gakpo were partly to blame for the lack of creative spark, arguing that 17-year-old Ngumaha did more in the 15 minutes he was on the pitch than his far more experienced teammates. He added, "Ngumaha did more in 15 minutes than Salah and Gakpo did before that. He changed the game and needs to be starting games. There's no one better in getting last-minute winners in Premier League, and that is Liverpool." The Premier League clash looked destined to end in a goalless draw until its final moments, when Mac Allister believed he had handed his side the advantage. Ngumaha delivered the ball into the center of the box from the right, with Hugo Ekitike nodding goalward from close range. While Stefan Ortega was equal to his effort, he could only parry the ball a few feet from his goal rather than tip it over or wide. Consequently, Ola Aina was left to attempt to clear the ball from a perilous position, with Mac Allister blocking his effort as the ball deflected off him and into the back of the net. The celebrations in the away end were incredibly brief, however, as VAR swiftly intervened. After a moment of scrutinizing the footage, officials ruled that the ball had in fact struck the arm of Mac Allister, disallowing the goal. Clarifying the ruling on X, the Premier League Match Centre wrote, after VAR review, the referee overturned the original decision of goal to Liverpool. Referee announcement, after review, the ball hits the arm of the goalscorer, Liverpool number 10. Therefore, it's an accidental handball by the goalscorer, so the final decision is a direct free kick. Mac Allister did, however, grab his goal deep into stoppage time, once again proving to be in the right place at the right time to slot the ball into the back of the net. In the 97th minute, Dominic Szoboszlai picked out Virgil van Dijk at the back post, with Ortega once again equal to the header. Yet, in a cruel twist of fate, the goalkeeper again spilled the ball into his own 6-yard box, with Mac Allister pouncing on it and driving it home. While VAR once again scrutinized the passage of play to determine whether Van Dijk had been in an offside position prior to his header, officials swiftly ruled that Aina was playing the Dutchman onside, allowing the goal to stand. Speaking after the final whistle, Mac Allister admitted he was delighted to have netted the winner, but remained unconvinced by his side's overall display. He said, "Mixed feelings to be honest. Love scoring, love winning. In that sense it's a really good day. But I don't think we played very well. There are things we need to improve, but it's always nicer when we win." Reflecting on his disallowed goal, he continued, "It did hit my arm, but it's harsh. Because it hit my back as well. I understand the rules, but it's football, it's very harsh." Discussing his match-winning strike, he said, "I knew I would get another one. Before the throw-in, I told Hugo it would be our situation. But I had another opportunity and I am glad it went in." Liverpool finally make Cody Gakpo transfer decision. Cody Gakpo has been at the center of attention for most Liverpool fans this season. Last term, the Dutchman was competing against Luis Diaz to be seen as the Reds' second-best attacker after Mohamed Salah, but this season, things just haven't clicked. Whether that's because he has no competition for his place in the team or whether it's down to the lack of form shown by his other teammates, things just haven't gone right for the Dutchman this term. These poor performances have led to questions being asked about his future with Liverpool and Arne Slot seemingly coming to a decision about what to do with the former PSV man. Bayern Munich will not make a move for Cody Gakpo in the upcoming summer transfer window. Last summer, Bayern Munich were deliberating whether to make a move for Gakpo or Diaz. In the end, the Colombian was the player that Vincent Kompany chose to make a move for, with his transfer working out rather well at the moment. Diaz has been one of Bayern's best players this term and, with how badly Gakpo has performed over the last few months, it seems like the Bundesliga giants made the right choice. Talk of Bayern re-entering the race was starting to emerge, but now, that doesn't seem at all likely. That is, according to an update from journalist Pete O'Rourke, who said the following about Gakpo's future while live on Football Insider's Transfer Insider podcast. "I would be surprised if Gakpo went to Bayern," he said. Obviously, last summer, it seemed as if it was a choice between Cody Gakpo and Luis Diaz for Bayern Munich, as they wanted to bring in a new left-sided winger. They obviously went for Diaz and it's been a massive success for the German club. Diaz has really hit the ground running for Bayern Munich. He's become a key man for Vincent Kompany's side, so you would imagine that he has that left-wing spot locked down. Gakpo obviously is a versatile player who can play anywhere across that front line as well, so I'm sure Bayern Munich would still have him on their list, but I don't think it'll be a priority for them right now. I don't think Liverpool will be rushing Cody Gakpo out of the club either. They're a bit short of attacking options on that left-hand side. I don't think Liverpool will be rushing Cody Gakpo out of the club either. They're a bit short of attacking options on that left-hand side. Liverpool must sign someone to compete with Cody Gakpo next season. One of the biggest mistakes that Slot and Richard Hughes made last summer was the fact that they failed to sign a suitable replacement for Diaz. Although Hugo Ekitike and Florian Wirtz were expected to fill in on the left flank from time to time, due to things such as injuries, this hasn't always been possible. And, if we're being honest, both Wirtz and Ekitike play better when they're used in their natural positions, which sort of defeats the purpose of using them on the left wing. This summer, several players are already being linked with an Anfield switch, with most of their reported transfer targets being in defense. However, if Slot wants to put up a good fight for each and every competition, he needs at least 2 world-class players for every position, and at the moment, Liverpool only really have one senior left winger. Times are tough at the moment, but if the Anfield outfit don't get their recruitment right in the upcoming summer transfer window, things could go from bad to worse in double quick time.